I'm Jonathan Easton, here from Digital TV Europe at IBC 2019 with Victor Badin, CEO of Alpha Networks. Victor.
Hi, Jonathan.
In what ways is the pay TV environment becoming more complex?
Well, the pay TV market has evolved a lot. So we've gone from distributors on one side and the producers of content on the other. And they used to be quite segregated, each having their own sort of role. And now we're seeing the distributors actually producing content and also the producers of content actually starting to distribute. So that's creating a lot more content in the market, and it's creating complexity because all of this content needs to be distributed and needs to be channeled down to end users.
What trends are you seeing in user experience development?
Okay, so user experience there's one big trend that we're seeing, which is that when you have so much content to try and promote, first of all, recommendation is a very important aspect of how we present the content, and making sure that the right content is sent to the right type of user. So it requires obviously understanding a little bit who the user is, what the user likes, and then making the right recommendation to that user.
How important is it for an operator to have its own branding integrated into the user experience, and what is Alpha doing to facilitate this?
Because the platforms now need to manage multiple sources of content, you have many of these distributors that are all sharing one single UI, and the user basically needs to understand what content is coming from what distributor. So being able to put a logo on each content and making sure that that information is made clear to the user actually is important, and it's something that we're doing. So we have these logos, and although you have one user experience, you have different content that's mingled inside, and so those logos basically, which is something that we put, is clear and it's visible to the end user.
What are the key features in a successful EPG, and what innovations have Alpha made?
So with the EPG Grid, what's very important is that first of all the timestamps are accurate, so that when we're publishing the EPG to the apps, the timestamps are actually corresponding to the actual start of the program. That's the first basic thing, and so it needs to have services that correct the EPG, which is something that we're doing with our accurate EPG program. The other thing that's very important is that from the EPG you need to be able to go back in time and be able to start catch-up services and VOD and programs that occurred in the past directly from the EPG. So combining both the catch-up with the VOD catalog and an accurate EPG are features that are today very important in the user experience.
Lastly, what can operators do to reduce churn in a cord-cutting world?
Well, I think quite simply organizing the content in a way that makes sense for the end user. Because I think that if you're inundated with too much content, the reaction from an end user is that he'll probably put the app down, he doesn't know where to find the content that he's looking for, and that causes churn in the long run. So organizing the content in a way that makes sense, making sure that he can find the content through the recommendation engine as well, that is something that over time is going to make the experience better and obviously reduce churn.
Victor, thank you very much.
Thank you.